Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session. My name is Jennifer Blagoji, and I am the External Relations Manager for the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce. Together with the Invest in Northern Ireland team, I would like to thank you all for taking time off your busy schedules to attend this virtual event. Growing bilateral trade between the UK and Ghana is at the heart of everything we do at the UK GCC, and so for that reason, we're excited to be hosting the Visit Northern Ireland webinar to discuss, among other things, the trade and investment opportunities in the region and understand investor sentiments. Today's topic is very relevant to us given the magnitude of business matchmaking services we make accessible to our member companies. One major positive of doing business in Northern Ireland is access to the brilliant organizations that offer business support. Invest Northern Ireland supports business development and attracts inward investment. They help achieve business success through financial support, tailored guidance, and information. Indeed, we are extremely excited to be partnering with them on this initiative. As part of the Chamber's activities for the last quarter of 2022, we'll be organizing a trade mission to Northern Ireland from 1st to 3rd November 2022 in collaboration with Invest Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is one of the fastest growing regions of the United Kingdom and offers small and medium-sized enterprises excellent opportunities for business growth and prosperity. Some of the proposed activities for the trade mission will include a Ghana Belfast mini business forum, some business-to-business matchmaking meetings, and a networking reception. Please look out for further updates to be shared in the coming weeks. The sectors of focus will include recycling, waste management, cybersecurity, education technology, among others. We urge you all to participate. So at this juncture, I would like to introduce our speaker for today. But before I do that, I would like to just touch on a few housekeeping rules for today's session. So as a member of the live audience, you're automatically on mute. Should you have any questions during the presentation, I entreat you to type them using the chat function and they will be answered after the presentation. This live event is being recorded and will be posted to the Chamber's YouTube channel after the event. The event is also being streamed live on the Chamber's Facebook page at UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce. Our social media handles are in the chat box. I encourage you all to follow and subscribe for future updates on doing business in Ghana and in the UK. Thank you. So now I'll go ahead and introduce Anne, Director of Trade and Investment, Invest Northern Ireland. So Anne has over 21 years experience in economic development in Northern Ireland, from assisting startups and scale-ups, attracting and supporting blue chip multinationals, pioneering strategic sector initiatives, to driving collaboration with a range of local and international partners across the public and private sector, and draws on this breadth of experience in her current role as Director of Trade and Investment. She provides strategic direction and leadership to Invest Northern Ireland's trade and investment teams to deliver results in attracting inward investments to Northern Ireland, assisting businesses to accelerate their export growth, and mobilizing a supportive diaspora network. Anne will speak to us today about the trade and investment opportunities available in Northern Ireland for businesses in Ghana and West Africa. So over to you, Anne. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning, everyone. As Jennifer says, my name is Anne Beggs and I'm Director of Trade and Investment at Invest Northern Ireland. It's a real pleasure to be joining you today from Northern Ireland via the a miracle of Teams. And thank you to the UK Ghana Chamber of Commerce for the invitation to speak this morning. I'm also joined on this session by my colleague Raksha Maharaj, our Regional Director for Trade and Investment for Africa as well. So I'm now going to share my screen and deliver you a presentation. So I'll just do that now. Here we we go. Okay, just checking everybody can see that all okay, all good? Okay, so what I would like to do in this short session this morning is give you an introduction to Northern Ireland and an insight into our sectors and industries of strength, as I know many of you are contemplating exploring the potential for you to come on a trade mission to explore the scope to source products and services from Northern Ireland. So hopefully this morning's session will give you plenty of food for thought. But before I get into that detail, I thought I would first just put Northern Ireland onto the map for you. So in this slide here, you can see our pivotal location. We're nestled between mainland Europe and the United States. And Northern Ireland is part of the United Kingdom, but is located on the island of Ireland alongside the Republic of Ireland. And on this slide, you can see that in a little bit more detail. So here we have a map of the island of Ireland. So Belfast is the capital city of Northern Ireland, whilst Dublin, that you may be more familiar with, is the capital of the Republic of Ireland. And it takes just less than 2 hours to travel between those two capital cities on the island. And just perhaps some other headline facts and figures about Northern Ireland. So I've already talked about our pivotal location between mainland Europe and the US, and that gives us access to markets across Great Britain, Ireland, Europe and North America. And as well as our proximity to Dublin in the Republic, we're very well connected both within the UK and beyond. So we have 3 international airports that deliver over 750 flights every week. And in terms of connectivity in the telecom sense, we benefit from an excellent telecoms links to Europe and North America, and we have an expanding 5G network, all of which has helped contribute to Northern Ireland's high ranking as one of the top 10 cities in the UK for remote working. And finally, just a quick insight into our demographics. We have a population of some 1.8 million people here in Northern Ireland, of which 53% are under the age of 40, which makes for a very young population overall. And those young, talented people are a major attraction for investors, as I'm sure you can well imagine as well. And finally, just in terms of background, I mentioned earlier that Northern Ireland is an integral part of the UK, but it is known as a devolved administration within the UK in the same way as Scotland and Wales would be referred to. This means that we have a locally elected assembly, which includes a first and a deputy first minister, who lead the Northern Ireland Executive, which is 8 ministers in the Northern Ireland Executive who head up 8 departments. And one of those departments is the Department for the Economy, of which Invest Northern Ireland, who I represent, is the operational arm. So Invest Northern Ireland is the regional economic development agency for Northern Ireland, and we have a key remit to drive the growth of the economy in a number of different ways. But exports is a very fundamental part of what we do. Northern Ireland is very much a small business economy, and with a population of 1.8 million has a relatively limited domestic market. So you can appreciate that exporting is essential for us to grow our economy, and why we at Invest Northern Ireland are very much focused on supporting our businesses to identify, target and grow new markets outside of Northern Ireland, and why it's such a great opportunity to chat to you about that today. And just in terms of where we are around the world, we have offices throughout Northern Ireland, across all the regions of Northern Ireland, but we also have representation in 24 global locations, and we're growing as well. And that includes, of course, our Johannesburg offices where Raksha is based. And for those interested in importing from or investing into Northern Ireland, that would be your local contact point for more information and detail about Northern Ireland. So let's get stuck into the main content for today. So back to Northern Ireland and our key sectors. So we have strengths across a number of sectors from both a trade and an investment perspective. The growth of some of our sectors has been fueled by significant inward investment, others due to the strengths, expertise and vision of our Indigenous business base, and some others are a combination of both. So just thinking about financial and professional services first, there are over 40,000 people employed in the financial and professional services sector in Northern Ireland. And in fact, legal services is one of the fastest growing sectors of our economy. We have a further 12,000 people employed in providing business services, which covers finance, supply chain, customer support, human resources, and many other functions. And the growth of our financial and professional services sector has been fueled by very much a sustained success for Northern Ireland in attracting inward investment, with major financial services investors that include Allstate, the major US insurer, Citibank and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, and on the legal side, global firms like Allen and Overy and Baker McKenzie have very significant operations here as well. In terms of advanced manufacturing and engineering, we have a strong engineering heritage, and you may be familiar with that. And that heritage is really key to our international reputation in advanced manufacturing and engineering. About 11% of those employed in Northern Ireland are in the manufacturing and engineering sectors, and those sectors account for over a third of the exports from Northern Ireland. And our companies are involved in developing innovative components for aerospace, automotive, technology, energy and space sectors. And indeed, our aerospace capabilities are world renowned. We're also world class in the materials handling space, and food and drink are very important sectors for Northern Ireland as well. So I'll come back to both of those in a bit more detail in a minute. Northern Ireland is also a hub for cutting edge research and innovation in the field of life and health sciences. And again, that's something I'll come back and do a deeper dive on in a couple of seconds. But just to finish on this slide, last but definitely by no means least, Northern Ireland's technology cluster is one of the fastest growing tech clusters in the UK. Our digital sector is going from strength to strength, and we have a whole host of accolades to prove it that are kind of independently bestowed upon Northern Ireland. So for example, Northern Ireland is one of the Financial Times top 10 digital economies of the future. Belfast is Europe's leading foreign direct investment destination for new software development, and Northern Ireland is the world's top region for fintech inward investment. And again, in terms of the technology sector, we have a number of areas of specialism that Jennifer touched in her intro, and I will reflect on those further in a wee moment as well. So just to do a bit of a deeper dive in some of those sectors of notable strength. So food and drink. So food and drink is a £5 billion industry in Northern Ireland, and it is the region's largest manufacturing sector. Our produce has a strong reputation for quality and traceability. In fact, Northern Ireland developed the world-leading Food Fortress, which is a collaboration between industry and academia, really committed to the highest standards of safety and security in our food chain. And Northern Ireland's food and drink is sold in over 70 countries around the world. It's our second biggest export. And our food and drink is regularly recognised for quality in the global awards for outstanding taste. And as you can see in the picture here, that's largely thanks to our pure, lush countryside, which is the product of quite a bit of rain throughout the year. But as well as that, the commitment of our farmers and producers who are dedicated to traceability, passionate about quality, and really lead the way in terms of their standards of animal welfare as well. So then to materials handling. So I mentioned this is another sector in which Northern Ireland has a global reputation. We've over 8,000 people employed in this industry in Northern Ireland, and some 100 companies operating in this field. You may not know, but Northern Ireland makes 40% of the world's tracked mobile stone crushing and gravel screening equipment, and that's used across a range of sectors in construction and mining, quarrying, demolition, and we also have a whole range of materials handling solutions for ports, agriculture, airports and recycling. So with that range of usage, you can really appreciate that our materials handling equipment has to deal with some pretty challenging conditions, and it stands up to the task, certainly big time. Life and health sciences. So Northern Ireland is a hub for cutting edge research and innovation in the field of life and health sciences. We have expertise in precision medicine, med tech and clinical trials, and we have clinical specialisms here in Northern Ireland in the fields of oncology, cardiology, ophthalmology, respiratory and diabetes conditions. And the sector benefits from a very strong collaborative approach between industry, academia and clinicians, as well as groundbreaking research across 17 centres of excellence with over 1,000 researchers working on a range of life and health sciences projects. Commercially, life and health sciences is another major sector for Northern Ireland, with about 250 businesses employing over 8,500 people, and their products and services are exported to over 140 countries worldwide. And you can see here, just in terms of some of the sidebar information, our track record in life and health sciences innovation over the recent decades includes the development of the world's first portable defibrillator, which was invented by Northern Ireland's Professor Pantridge way back in 1965. So green growth and renewables. So I've talked about our established expertise and our heritage in engineering. So we're really leveraging that expertise in engineering, technology and construction and bringing that all to bear to diversify into the low carbon and renewable energy sector. So the low carbon sector employs over 12,000 people in over 300 companies across Northern Ireland and has an annual turnover of about 1.7 billion. And our areas of expertise in this space include onshore, offshore wind, energy efficiency solutions, energy storage and intelligent control systems, water and wastewater solutions, low and zero carbon buses and boats, and waste recycling. In terms of a couple of the subsectors within our tech space then that Jennifer highlighted, just to do a deeper dive on some of those. So with respect to education technology, so Northern Ireland's EdTech sector brings together the region's best education innovators to offer products and services that improve educational experience. So many of our innovators create and deliver learning and content through instruction, video, game-based learning and augmented reality. We're busy building future learning platforms that combine teaching excellence and cutting-edge digital innovations in assistive learning technology. And we are raising attainment and personalising access to learning through assistive technology, management and authoring tools as well. So cybersecurity. So Northern Ireland is world renowned as a hotspot for international cybersecurity expertise. And our sector here combines major multinationals who've chosen Northern Ireland to locate hubs of cyber expertise for their global operations. I mentioned Allstate, Citibank, CME, etc. And there are many, many more in that cluster. And they are part of that overall cluster of cyber strength here that has a super strong cadre of homegrown companies that are developing cybersecurity solutions to address a whole spectrum of cyber threat scenarios, everything from national security all the way through to child safety online. And within that cluster, a key asset that we are extremely proud of is the Centre for Secure IT at Queen's University Belfast. It has been recognised by the UK government's Intelligence and Security Organisation, GCHQ, as an academic centre of excellence for cybersecurity research. And that has proven, of course, attractive to those investors coming in to further develop their cybersecurity expertise and innovation here in Northern Ireland. So that's quite a lot of detailed information to absorb. And so now I'm going to go a wee bit lighter in terms of the information, and I'm going to run through a few highlights about Northern Ireland's products and services that maybe you didn't know, maybe you did, but let's see. So kicking off first and foremost with, did you know that over 30% of the world's aircraft seats are made in Northern Ireland? 1 in 5 of the world's computer drives contains a part that was created in Northern Ireland. So we're small but mighty. You can see we have a good global reach that's perhaps not well known, but we really punch well above our weight across a number of sectors. In terms of sports technology, this is a really growing area for Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland companies are delivering world first and market leading solutions to sports clubs around the world. And that includes International, Premier League and UEFA Champions League soccer clubs, the NBA, the NFL and MLS teams as well, which you perhaps didn't know. And I talked about our excellence in aerospace. So we have some major global leaders in the sector who have a presence here. And I'll not go through the whole list, but you've got Airbus, you've got Boeing, you've got BAE, you've got Spirit, all with significant operations in Northern Ireland, tapping in to that engineering expertise. And then Wrightbus, a homegrown and global company now, has developed the world's first double-decker hydrogen bus, and a fleet of those were launched in Scotland earlier this year as well. So we're immensely proud of that. And then on the creative side, I don't know whether we've got any Game of Thrones fans in the house this morning, but our TV, film and digital media sector are working with so many global clients and international partners to deliver creative solutions in animation, audio, mobile content, e-learning and music. But Northern Ireland is also emerging as a film location of choice. So the stunning scenery from Northern Ireland and our landscape was a big, provided such as a strong backdrop to Game of Thrones, the world's #1 TV show. And so it was predominantly filmed in Northern Ireland for all of its 8 seasons as well. So look out for that if you're watching it. Okay, so finally, I'm just going to briefly touch on what Northern Ireland has to offer international investors who are seeking a location to expand their operations. I know the premise of the presentation is to give you an insight into the potential trade opportunities, but I just want to touch on this briefly before we finish the formal part of the presentation. So some of the key factors that investors are attracted by when they come to Northern Ireland are the talents of our people, our cost competitiveness, our robust infrastructure, and our all-round reputation as a great place to live and work. So I'll not go through all of the detail in this, but just in terms of talent, I've already talked about we've one of Europe's youngest populations. But Northern Ireland also has the best performing education system for primary maths in Europe, and we're the 6th best in the world in that regard. Our students here consistently outperform other UK regions in the key high school leaving exams. They're called GCSEs and A-levels here. And many indeed go on to thrive. We've 2 world-class universities and a whole network of community colleges here. We've Queen's University, Belfast and Ulster University. And you know, 80% of our graduates achieve a first class or an upper second class degree when they leave a university. We're also fairly special in terms of the government-backed initiatives that we have to make sure that our investors get the skills that they need. So we have a programme called the Assured Skills Programme, which is unique in Europe, and that's where government, industry and academia all work together to ensure investors get the skills they need for their business to establish and thrive. And I know that's the envy of many of our peer agencies throughout the UK and Europe as well. And then just in terms of some of the overall characteristics of our workforce, investors tell us that labour turnover is very low. We have a very loyal workforce here in Northern Ireland, and they also show and have shown, particularly throughout recent years, remarkable innovation, flexibility and resilience. In terms of costs then, Northern Ireland provides one of the most cost-efficient business environments in Europe. So our corporation tax rate is 12%. It's the 2nd lowest in Western Europe and the lowest within the G20. Operating costs here are up to 30% lower than other locations across the UK and Europe. For example, we have some of the lowest prime office rental costs in Europe and the world, and we have highly competitive salary costs, relatively speaking, as well. And indeed, for those seeking to relocate to Northern Ireland, as many of our investors choose to do when they're seeding their new operations and establishing their operations here, they will maybe second somebody for a number of years. Northern Ireland is an incredibly cost-effective option as well in terms of the cost of living here. Infrastructure. So we talked at the top of the presentation about our pivotal geographical positioning and physical connectivity, but just to reflect on our great communications infrastructure as well. So we have a fully digital, fully fibre optic communications network and indeed a highly deregulated telecoms industry, which makes sure that competitive costs are delivered for businesses. On the compact side, Northern Ireland makes it an ideal test bed for new communications technology, and we get a lot of new innovations piloted here. But we're also a region of firsts in the infrastructure and comm space. So we were the first region in Europe to achieve 100% broadband coverage, and one of the first regions to operate high-speed next gen services with a 100 gigabyte per second telecoms link between Northern Ireland, North America and Europe as well. And on that point about resilience, I've talked about the resilience of our people, but also throughout the pandemic and the complete shift to working from home and remote working, our infrastructure has really stood that test as well, and its resilience has been proven too. And finally, there are a number of reasons why Northern Ireland is a great place to live and work, and I've just put some of them on the slide here, whatever. I'll not go through all of them. You hopefully get a chance to see some of them and discover them for yourself when you're here. But just the Lloyds Bank run a happiness index survey every year, and most recently Northern Ireland has come out as the happiest place to live in the UK as well. So, and it's for all of the reasons set out on this slide. And then just in terms of our track record on investment, when investors are coming into Northern Ireland, they want to know how we've performed, who's already here and what cluster they will be joining, etc. And track record is immensely important. We have a whole range of accolades that kind of that endorse our performance as an inward investment location. And again, I'll not go through all of these this morning. But Northern Ireland in the past 5 years has attracted more foreign direct investment jobs per head than any other part of the UK. And so that's something that we're immensely proud of. So I guess across the piece, whether it be the success of our sectors of strength, whether it be our performance in terms of inward investment, we really do. For a small part of the UK, we really punch well above our weight, and hopefully you'll get a chance to discover that as well. So that concludes the formal presentation. I'm now going to hand back to Jennifer with a lovely view on this last slide of the North Coast. Wherever you're at in Northern Ireland, I think the statistic is that you're never more than 35 miles away from stunning coasts and a view of the sea as shown in this picture. So over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Anne. And it was very insightful and it was a beautiful presentation and I enjoyed it and I hope everyone did as well. And we all cannot wait to visit Northern Ireland and explore all the opportunities, amazing opportunities in the region. As I said before, kindly put your questions in the chat function, and right before we get to that, I will just briefly touch on a few reasons why businesses should go on a trade mission. And so put simply, a trade mission is an opportunity for a company to join a group of other companies for a series of tailor-made meetings with prospective clients, buyers, distributors, foreign officials, and other significant organizations. So the broad intention here is to create connections and open doors. And they are important for any business leader who wants to increase the understanding of a full range of complex and often subtle dimensions of a target market like Northern Ireland, to know how things work and how things are regulated and to the very vibe of the place. So through our partnerships in the UK, like our partnership with Invest Northern Ireland, we research markets and industries in the UK and other regions to inform Ghanaian and UK businesses of potential export and import opportunities. And while these missions are designed for Ghanaian companies exploring global markets, there are also opportunities for UK companies in Ireland to look for investment opportunities and create jobs in Ghana. So we invite you here as well after our mission in November. They will also be coming down for one, hopefully next year. And so because trade missions are usually demanding, business leaders are advised to prepare and work towards it. Before you go, there are a few things we would like you to take note of. For instance, understand your goals, know why you're going. Your first visit would usually be to learn about the place and build relationships. So you would advise that you manage your expectations and not expect that once you go, it means for some it will be so, but sometimes it takes time. And so would also advise you to be patient, research the people and the companies you would meet. If you're fortunate to have the list before you go, it will be a great opportunity to do your research. Prepare quality collateral. Make sure you have your business cards and company profiles to take along with you, and always try to send your best team. So it means your team A to these trade missions. And once you're there, once you get to the mission ground here, that will be Northern Ireland. You need to understand the needs, desires, and aspirations of the businesses you'll be meeting, and get to know your business partners. Talk to them about their country and learn more about their culture. And that would help you once you're there. Now, after the missions, the critical thing is the follow-up. And we know sometimes this is a bit difficult once we come back, but we entreat all of you to try to create strong lines of communication when operating internationally. Try to send your follow-up emails addressed directly to the contacts you meet, and please try to follow up with a phone call after the emails have been sent, just to make sure the emails were received. And then lastly, be patient. Patience, it's key here. You may not get what you want initially, but once you build a relationship, you never know where this will take you. So on that note, we'll move on to our Q&A session. So I'll start with my own question, and then I'll go ahead to read what we have on the chat box. So I think this will be to Raksha, and I believe, what should participants expect from a trade mission? Like, what would it look like to embark on a trade mission to Belfast in Northern Ireland?
Thanks, Jennifer. I've just turned on my camera as well. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So, just to start off with, Anne has spoken about all the opportunities in Northern sector for Africa. It's important to mention that there are fantastic opportunities in Amway Street. I think what to expect from a typical trade mission is that, firstly, our inward visit programs are customized depending on the companies attending. However, we would generally look at a morning seminar session where we could talk about doing business in and with Northern Ireland, have some of our sector experts talk about the different sectors in more detail. But also give the delegation from Ghana the chance to talk about their market and what opportunities may be there for Northern Irish companies. I think very, very important to me is that we look at business-to-business engagement. So setting up one-to-one business meetings and allowing businesses to talk to each other and learn from each other. We always follow this up with a networking event, be it a lunch or a dinner, just an opportunity for companies to get to know each other in a more social setting. Again, depending on the makeup of the delegation, we would arrange appropriate site visits to companies, universities, incubators, some of which Anne has mentioned. And also, as she said, Belfast is a really beautiful city with many things to see. So definitely some time should be allocated to familiarizing the delegation with the look and feel of the city as a great place to do business. Thanks.
Thanks, Raksha. Thank you so much. So moving on to our next question. What are some of the challenges and opportunities for Ghanaian importers and exporters to Northern Ireland? What should they potentially look out for?
Should I take that one, Jennifer?
Yes, Raksha, you can, or Anne can take it. Either of you, that's fine.
Okay, let me take that one. So, Anne's spoken quite a bit about this, but I would say Northern Ireland is quite an easy place to do business. And I think one of the great advantages is ourselves at Invest NI, where our mandate is that we assist companies who want to set up in market. We are there to help promote the trading relationship. I think, opportunities across a range of sectors, some of which Anne has covered in detail, but of course we do have other sectors as well. So depending on the sector, the company, we are able to assist them to navigate the market to understand the market and how to do business. I would say, challenges are few and opportunities are many.
Right. Thank you for that. So I have a few questions that have been sent to me here. So what will the weather be around this time or in November? What do you advise? What's the weather like around November? And how would it potentially affect the trade mission?
Well, it wouldn't. So I'll just say, so November would be late autumn coming into winter, so there could be a reasonable amount of rain. Temperatures won't have dropped below zero. It won't be kind of sub-zero conditions or anything like that. What we always recommend in terms of coming to Northern Ireland is that you can experience 4 seasons in one day here, okay? So it can rain, next minute the sun will be out and whatever else. So we would always recommend probably the wearing of layers so that you can layer up or layer down as the temperature fluctuates, and also to always have a pack-a-mac or an umbrella. Nobody here really goes out in November without an umbrella, just for the odd shower. It wouldn't be torrential rain, but it can come on quite quickly. So that's what you would need to prepare for. Layers and an umbrella would probably be essential kit, I would say.
Okay, great. One question that came to mind when you were doing your presentation was that for visitors coming, we have various cultures and what is acceptable and not. So I wanted to know what's the business etiquette code like? What do you do when you meet a business partner? What is acceptable in your region?
I would say some of the standard recommendations and suggestions you had at the top in terms of business cards and whatever, but you will find, and genuinely, but everybody finds when they come into Northern Ireland, is that there's an immensely friendly atmosphere. Actually, the people are very personable, very engaging or whatever. So, of course, there's those standard kind of business formalities or whatever, but you will find that there's a reasonable degree of informality here as well, in terms of just wanting to sit down, talk, and get on with doing business or whatever. So there are no very peculiar cultural requirements or anything like that, or behaviours here or whatever. What you'll find actually is that there's a very friendly population here to engage with. So I don't think you would need to be prepared for anything specifically other than the standard stuff you've covered off, Jennifer.
Okay, that's great. I've just been sent another question here. And so if one of the companies in Ghana or any Ghanaian company wanted to establish a company in Northern Ireland, how long would that take and what would be the procedure?
Process?
Yes, the process, yes.
So in terms of our inward investment process, so I'll just step through that, and it can take as long or as short as really the individual project really requires, or the decision maker requires actually. So initially, in terms of the preliminary scoping, sussing out the talent base, property, location, all of those kind of aspects of any a cost base, all of those things, that's where our in-market team, working with our investment team here in Belfast, can share information by email and whatever, just to give that initial view, so that decision makers can get to grips with the parameters of what an operation in Northern Ireland might look like. Provided that all stacks up in terms of how the investor would want their operation to look, where they'd want it to locate, what it would cost, etc., then typically the next stage is to have an inward investment visit. So that's different to a trade mission. That's where an individual investor would come in and do a site visit, and that would involve potentially meeting recruiters, property consultants, the universities if it's appropriate. They could also meet professional services advisors in terms of accountants and legal and banking, all of those things. And that's the job of Invest Northern Ireland, to put together those very bespoke investor programmes, and we do that regularly. And we have a team here as well. And the team here is organised on a sectoral basis, so they would be a good font of knowledge for sector specifics as well. And then once all of that is put together, then obviously the decision maker in the investing company would put together their own business plan. So really it depends how long the investor wants to take the decision and how much information they want to exchange, etc. So it could be reasonably quick, Jennifer. It really comes down to the time frame of the decision being made. You could be on the ground here within a matter of months if that were to be the desire to do so. It really just is, I suppose, at the discretion of the investor. In many parts, there are no major hurdles to establishing operations in Northern Ireland as well.
Okay, sounds good. And then another question here. So what are for exporters? I know I've already touched on the challenges and opportunities for businesses, but especially for exporters, for companies that want to export to Northern Ireland, what would be your recommendations here? Specifically, what sectors do you think will be ideal for exporters from the African region?
For exporting services from the African region to Northern Ireland?
Yes, services, products. What would be your recommendations? Which sectors would you recommend that we export to the region?
I maybe defer to Raksha on that, I guess, because the focus of our role within Invest Northern Ireland is actually for Northern Irish companies, supporting Northern Irish companies to sell their products outside Northern Ireland. So we're less, I suppose, on the import side of things, if you like, Jennifer. Raksha, is there anything you'd want to add to that?
Yeah, I think I would just add, Jennifer, that, it would differ from market to market, depending on the strengths of that market. But I think generally, from an overall perspective, we find that food products, especially from Africa, are quite popular into the UK. If you think about it, we almost have reverse seasons. So it's things like fruit, like vegetables, that have good export markets into the UK. And then I would say also in certain areas, tech is quite an interesting offering. Again, depending on the market, on the products, but generally we find that the agri-tech base tends to be quite popular. Of course, if we do look at, specialisms in terms of advanced engineering and manufacturing, and there are niche products, those could obviously also prove quite popular.
Okay, thank you, Raksha. That was insightful for businesses here as well. See what they can potentially do in the region. So that was informative. Okay, so I think we have run through all the questions for today. I'd like to obviously thank Anne for the wonderful presentation earlier, and for the whole Invest Northern Ireland team for coming on board to make this happen. It has been a privilege working with you. And do you have any closing remarks from your end before I finally wrap up?
Yes, thanks, Jennifer. So I mentioned when I started off that Ghana is one of our key focus markets, but I should sort of preface that by saying, it's really interesting time to be working in Africa at the moment. If we look at the pace of growth and economic development, the potential is huge. Ourselves as Invest Northern Ireland, we don't cover every market in detail, but Ghana is really one of our key markets. We have lots of inquiries from Northern Irish companies about Ghana, doing business with Ghana, but also looking for partners from the Ghana business community to set up in the market, but also to look at wider African markets. I see this interaction between ourselves as potential, not just for business in Northern Ireland and Ghana, but as partnering, especially in West Africa together. I think, you know, it's a really pleasure to work with UK GCC in terms of how we grow and develop the existing relationships, create new opportunities. And when it comes to this trade mission, how we work together with companies to customize a program for them in Northern Ireland that leads to benefit for both sides. As a fellow African, you know, very passionate to see this growth and development be a two-way relationship, bringing benefit to Africa as well. So yes, that would be my message. As Anne has mentioned, I'm the Regional Director for Africa, so I'm happy to assist any of your members, any of the Ghanaian business community with any questions around doing business with with Northern Ireland and how Invest NI can assist them.
Thank you, Raksha. So I think this is our pitch. Here's your opportunity to join us in November to Belfast. We organize, like I said in my opening remarks, we're organizing a trade mission to Belfast, and we would like to have you join us to explore all the opportunities that have been mentioned on this webinar today. Is going to be great, exciting, and very fruitful for all businesses that join us. The trade mission, again, is from the 1st to the 3rd of November. There'll be other side activities as well. So please flag this on your calendar, reach out to us, and we'll provide further details in the coming weeks. Again, it has been an absolute pleasure working with the Invest Northern Ireland team, especially to Anne for making time to give this presentation to our audience. If you want any further information on Northern Ireland, please reach out to us and we'll connect you with the team, with the Invest Northern Ireland team, and they'll be happy to help you. And so on this note, I wish everybody a pleasant afternoon and see you in Belfast in November. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Don't forget the brolly. Don't forget the umbrella. Okay, see you soon.
Yes, definitely.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.